Hello everyone, this is the Wealth Accumulation Channel. Language is often a prophecy of life. Renowned entrepreneur Robert surprised. When I was young, I met a successful local businessman. He noticed that the other person was talking to him. The most talked about is investment, entrepreneurship, financing, these topics related to earning money. Surprised and curious. Why can't my father be as rich as he is? The merchant did not answer. But to make Qingqi pay more attention to himself. Father's daily language. Qingqi quickly discovered upon returning home. Once his father talks about money. What he said is completely opposite to that of a businessman. Do you think money grows on trees? Am I a banknote printer? I would rather be happy than rich. To summarize, I don't have the money right now. There won't be any in the future. Qingqi later became wealthy. When Dad mentioned this in his investment guide, can't help but sigh. Most people who talk about having no money, they are all planning to become poor. Psychologist Richard Wiseman once invited two batch test objects. These two groups of people are of similar age. The social status is also similar. The only difference is that the first batch of people often smiled and said to people, "My luck is great." The second batch of people will give up easily. "I'm really unlucky." Hanging on my lips. Richard is on their way home from work. Scattered a few coins. People who always say they are lucky. Almost all the coins were found. And another group of people were complaining throughout the entire process. Peers also complain, because they want to hear them complain. Not paying attention to one's own feet. Finally, when I was told that there was a coin picked up on the road, they are laughing bitterly and mocking themselves again. Let's see. I just said I'm unlucky. Prophecy is often a prophecy of life. A person who opens and closes his mouth with negative energy. Every day, I'm verifying my intended misfortune. Even if opportunities approach, they will turn a blind eye. Getting deeper and deeper in the quagmire of life. Remembering the story I saw in a magazine many years ago. The parents of the young man passed away in a car accident. He had to drop out of school and work to raise his young brother. A fellow villager sympathized with his plight. Recruit him into his own restaurant. Not only does he receive an extra 500 yuan in salary every month, also interested in cultivating him as a foreman manager. Who knows that young people talk about their tragic past when they meet people? When entertaining guests, they also have long beards, short sighs, and a bitter smile on their face. Over time, the restaurant staff have become demoralized. I can't even motivate myself to do things. Old customers also feel that the atmosphere in the store is oppressive. Transferring to other restaurants for meals. Watching the business in the store deteriorate day by day. The fellow villager had no choice but to dismiss him. Young people are even more lamenting their misfortune now. The life that had not improved since then has become even worse. There is hope that Musk once said about your life. Always limit yourself to what you said. Words are like spells. If you say you set limits on yourself, it really makes the world a prison. In the Fogg behavior model, mentioned the three elements that drive behavior. Motivational abilities and prompts. Even if a person has the motivation to do something, and the ability to complete this task, but we still need a reminder signal. Encourage oneself to take positive actions. This warning signal is closely related to what he said. When Li Bai came to Beijing for revenge, he said, "Laugh up and go out." Are we Penghao people? Before Napoleon became Emperor of France, saying that I will be taller than the Alps. When Yu Minhong first started his business, he said, "Life can be full of setbacks. But I can't lose confidence." Those words that were spoken out will quietly blend into a person's consciousness, form some kind of suggestion to guide him to make corresponding actions. And these behaviors will ultimately shape his entire life. French painter Du Zena once visited Gillet's exhibition of works. Aspire to become equally outstanding painters. My friend looked at his 2 empty sleeves and said, "You pray to God first. Let you grow a pair of hands that can hold a pen." Ordinary people have long been silent when ridiculed like this. But Dusner shared what she had said. Write on the notebook by the bedside. As he wrote, he thought, since I can write with my foot holding a pen, why can't you draw with a brush in your hand? After 2 years of hard training, he gradually became able to draw basic lines and outlines. At this moment, his friend teased him again. Techniques that others can master in 2 weeks. It took you 2 years to learn. Even if I practice for a lifetime, I won't become a painter. Dusner told herself again that since that's the case, why don't I just take Gillet as my teacher? He began to inquire about Gillet's itinerary, and eventually met each other at a banquet. After seeing him draw a picture with his feet, Gillet decided to accept him as an apprentice on the spot. Years later, Dusner becomes an innocent painter of all French civilization. And the friend who said discouraging words to him back then, still living a poor and mediocre life. I really agree with Zheng's statement. People are guided by their self-awareness in their lives. But I always think that's fate. Many times, it's not just about talking to others. It's more about listening to oneself. Yale University professor Susan just transferred from a slum in South Africa. When studying New York, whether it's life or studies, are facing tremendous pressure. Anxious Susan one day sought help from her mentor. And after the mentor heard him cry for an hour, I only replied to one suggestion. Share at least one happy thing with friends every day. No matter what troubles you encounter on the day, how low your mood is. At first, Susan thought the mentor was just perfunctory. Until I forced myself to follow my mentor's advice. He just realized that as long as he is patient and perceives every day, there will always be some small blessings. For example, nice weather. A beautiful dress has been added to the supermarket. The subject test presented the questions he had reviewed. Every time he talks to his friends about these things, the other party is also willing to share their happy things. Complaints and sighs hanging on the lips. In the process of sharing, gradually replaced with a positive and upward topic. Over time, his optimistic and cheerful speech make more and more friends actively approach him. He also gained unprecedented confidence from this, feeling capable of doing more meaningful things. There is a proper language in Buddhism. It refers to relaxing words spoken in a carefree and optimistic state, often speaking the official language, not a self-deceiving psychological comfort. It's about working hard in the worst possible situation, looking for hope for improvement. By the side of the morning boat, 1,000 sails pass by the diseased tree, and 10,000 trees spring before it. Life is inherently bittersweet. Only by not being obstructed by momentary disappointment can one meet the eye. To live a life of sudden enlightenment. Professor Zheng Shiqiang said to see what a person's future holds. It depends on what he says now and what tone of voice he uses. Everyone has 2 gates in their hearts. Bringing a continuous stream of motivation together. Bringing endless internal friction together. Which door did you open with words? Where will your life lead to? This is the Wealth Accumulation Channel. We'll see you next time.